Hello and welcome to Black Dog River Farm. I've just finished on my other channel, Quartzlight, and I know a lot of people have moved over to or also subscribed to this channel as well as Quartzlight, which is why I mentioned it. I've just been recording on Quartzlight a brochure for the first generation Honda Prelude. What an interesting car. It kind of reminded me what an interesting car the first generation Prelude was. Bit of a sporty looking car, but with luxury as well. It was certainly Honda moving up into a more luxurious idea at the time, where previously we just had Civics and the Accord. I think things in there like had a very interesting speedometer and rev counter that was also incorporated, and also a radio next to the steering wheel. Very clever. You'll have to look out for that episode if you're interested in cars and car brochures on Quartzlight, my other channel, and that'll be out on Monday. Anyway, as it's such a lovely day, I've decided to come outside for a bit. So I've just thought also I've not done a episode for Black Dog River Farm for a while, so here I am. Lovely day in Canada. This is recorded on the 10th of October. And it's around about 17 degrees, at least the temperature gauge is telling me 17 degrees. So a really warm day actually in Canada for this time of year. There's been other times in previous years it's even snowed by this time, but certainly nothing like that. More commonly to get snow around Halloween, I tend to find. Anyway, I'm actually by the river if I turn the camera around. A nice relaxing place to sit. There is actually a little bit of a beach down here, although not much of a beach at the moment because this river has come up quite a bit. And that isn't because of rain, I don't think, although we have had some rain. I think it's more to do, this river comes from the US. We're about, I think, due north, about 30 miles due north of the US border. So this river comes from the US, and I think they've released some water out probably to reduce the water levels over there in anticipation for snow, the winter, obviously to avoid flooding in the spring. So it's quite high at the moment, the river, but very relaxing. Anyway, that's not really the reason why I thought we'd do this episode today. I thought we'd do a quick episode. It's not going to be a long episode by any stretch of the imagination. I thought I'd just do a quick episode with some of the strange finds I've had recently on Black Dog River Farm. So I think we'll go up here. I'm just trying to think. Well, I'll start walking. We'll start walking, won't we, Oliver? We'll start walking. I might end up cutting some of this out, to be honest with you, because I don't know how long or how patient viewers are on YouTube. We'll see. I might leave some of it in. Depends how long the video is, of course. So yeah, I've got Oliver with me today. He's quite happy to wander around with me. Aren't you, Oliver? Let's go through it. So, first very strange find of the day. Let's go through the trees. First very strange find of the day. This morning I was just walking back with the dog from the river, and something was shining in the tree. I thought, what on earth is that shining in the tree? Maybe it's a nail that I need to pull out. What is that thing in there? Maybe a bit of glass has been left. Maybe a bit of wire has been tied around the tree that needs taking off. But no. In this tree branch, someone sometime must have been working on something, because there's a pair of mole grips or vice grips, whatever you want to call them, and it's certainly been there some time because it's actually, the tree has actually grown into them. I think I might just be able to get them out, but obviously I don't want to damage the tree, so I'll have to see. But yeah, someone must have been working maybe on a tractor or something around here many years ago, left it up there and completely forgot, and the tree's grown into it. And talk about trees growing into things, the other very weird thing, and there seems to be a little bit of a habit or putting things around trees here, which I'm not a huge fan of. Because on these trees, I'm sure Oliver's going to show us, on these trees, all the way along, why this was on here, maybe it was a little bit of a temporary fence or something to put on there, all the way along them, somebody's put these things into the trees. They've screwed them in there. And they're actually all the way along here. I don't know why you would screw them into a tree. I guess the question now is it better for the tree for them to be left in there? Or is it better to take them out? I don't know if we've got any tree experts what the best thing to do there. But yeah, an unusual thing to do for sure. Bizarre. Anyway, I'm going to make my way up the hill. I think I'll probably pause the video somewhere around here. And then we'll continue. So yes, as I come to where we park the cars, down here is another bit of a find. I found these in the trees. Some very early, I moved my big shadow out of the way. Some very early wheels, all metal construction. I presume they must come off from a cart, like a horse-drawn cart. Anyone know what age they would be? I actually threw them in the truck and brought them back yesterday. And I was going to go back to the same location because there are other finds over there, similar. So I'm presuming the area must have been a field at one time and all this, what looks like farming equipment, because I presume it must come off some kind of horse-drawn cart. I would imagine, at least. I can't imagine what else it would be used for. So some kind of horse-drawn cart, but of an all-metal construction. It's always nice to see older things in Canada, because we really don't have that same history as you do in Europe. And obviously a lot of my viewers are from Europe, so they probably think, there's plenty of old things, you know, but I was in Canada. It's always unusual to find something a little bit older. Looks like Oliver knows where we're going. Again, I might cut some of this out at this point. I don't know how much you can endure of me wandering round Black Dog River Farm. But we'll see. I don't think it's going to be a huge video, so maybe I might leave some of this in. Anyway, so this is our driveway that Oliver's leads. It's ridiculously long, and it's going to be, I don't know. I found someone with a tractor who said they'll clear it in winter, but I don't know. I would need some big equipment if I was going to do that myself all winter. Anyway, so on this side, this is actually another little road, although obviously it's been a long time since it's been used, although I can drive the truck down here, because originally this was a driveway, and I presume underneath what's grown over there's some kind of gravel surface, I would imagine. This would originally have been the driveway to the neighbours at one time, so the long driveway would have been a shared driveway, also include the neighbours, and this would have been the neighbours' driveway, or to get to the neighbour's property. The neighbours got their own driveway, I presume a long time ago, so this driveway is not a used driveway anymore, and it's still quite a distance actually to get to the neighbours down here, but it's useful for bringing the truck in here and cleaning things up. So the driveway down here, or what was a driveway or a small road, whatever you want to call it, continues for quite some way down here, but in this area is where I found those wheels. So let's have a look, because there were other things in here as well. So if I make my way down here, trying to avoid bumping the camera in here. Apologies, there's some scraping noise or unusual noises, but it is difficult to get into here. So which is the best way to go? I think I'll go down here. And like I say, one time this must have been a field, I presume. All these trees aren't particularly old. They're like a weedy tree, not that old, and they're kind of falling over anyway. A lot of them are dead. So down here we do have another piece of what looks like agricultural machinery. I don't know if you can make out that sun. There's a few reflections today. It's a beautiful day. So a big wheel. No idea what the tyre represents on there, because it's a small tyre. I don't understand the idea of that, but I don't know much about agricultural machinery. But I do think this is probably some kind of like hay rake by the looks of it, something horse-drawn, I would imagine. And I presume it would have had some kind of seats around here, I'm guessing. There's some kind of like foot pedal here. Out of my element. I know a lot about cars, I don't know much about antique farm equipment. If anyone can enlighten me of what sort of year this would be, and I hope you can see it's kind of like hidden into the landscape. Like I said, I don't understand what the more modern tyres are all about. Like I said, I don't know what age. So it would have had a seat at some time, somewhere. I've not seen the seat, although maybe it might be worth trying to move some leaves around. Usually the seats of these agricultural machineries are collectible in their own right, so somebody may have taken them off. But we can see a very large wheel. It comes way above my waist, just to give you an idea of how big that is. I guess the question is, like I say, these trees are breaking and falling down. Is it worth even attempting to get this out of here so it doesn't get crushed? Because I'm sure eventually it'll just disappear forever, although how I would excavate that and get it out of there, I am not sure. I'd certainly have to cut some of these weedy trees down to attempt it, and really, well, this tree can come down because it's broken anyway. Yeah, it's been there a very long time. I don't know if that's even possible, or do we just clear an area around it so it doesn't disappear completely? Not sure. Answers in the comments are also always appreciated. So we move further down here. There's some other pieces of what probably will be more agricultural stuff. Been there a long time though, hasn't it? Like I said, I presume this was left when there was some kind of... Well, it must have been a clearing when they left, whether it was a field. I presume so. And then we move further down here and there's another piece of machinery here. It's obviously smaller than that very large rake, but bigger than the wheels I first showed you. And these kind of like give you an idea though how it was built, because this has actually still got the wooden cross piece to go between, although it's very, very rotten. I think that wheel had probably come off there, so I can probably take that out in pieces if I had to. Again, is it worth moving, or should I just leave it there? Might make some quite nice yard art. I just feel it'd be a shame, because like I said, these trees, I've come to that, that's dead, that tree there. These trees have come to an end, so they are starting to fall down. I'd hate to get it crushed for no reason. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Should I attempt to move these? Should I bring them back like I've done with the first two? It's probably worth... I'm not seeing anything else in here. It's probably worth exploring more. But this is a good time of year, fall, or autumn as I prefer to call it. This is a good time of year really to do this sort of exploring, because the leaves, I've never noticed it before. We've only been here a few months. This is a new property, so I'm only really finding things. But I walked down this little bit of a drive many times with the dog. Only just recently noticed these big wheels in here because the leaves are falling. So this is the best time to do this sort of exploring. When the leaves are there, you cannot see in here at all. So an interesting area for sure, and yeah, Let me know in the comments, should I rescue these? Should I just leave them in their final resting place? I don't know. Like I say, this one particularly would be a lot of work to get it out. But I've no doubt with time it would be possible. I would say at least to take these dead ones down, so things haven't got a chance of falling on them. Which would be a shame if a tree fell on it and just completely destroyed it, I think, because obviously history in Canada, I think, is important. This is one that's recently come down. There are quite weedy trees in here, but I guess this type of tree only has quite a short lifespan. So it probably wants clearing up and managing in here anyway, with the weedier trees taken out, so other trees have got a chance of actually making their way in. But yeah, hope you don't mind me making this quick episode of where we're up to. I guess snow is, of course, on your mind in kind of this time of year. End of the month, beginning of the next month is when we'll start getting snow, and then that snow is very often there, well, till like April time, so all this stuff disappears. But yeah, thank you for watching today on Black River Dog Farm from me and Oliver. We'll see you very soon. All the best and goodbye.